All right, we are live.
Okay, again, welcome to the Strategic and Operating Planning Committee meeting. Meeting is called to order. There are no presentations, so we're going to go right to proposed agenda items for December 21st. So I guess that's going to you, Val.
Yes, sir. Good morning, Chairman O'Halloran and Director Stone, and to all of you who may be listening this morning. We have 6 agenda items, and the first 4 of those items will be coming directly from the Finance Department. So I'll ask Ms. Cutter to present at this time.
Okay, good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
The first item is consultant services to move forward with the electric bus rollout plan. And this action item is for the purpose of the amendment to repurpose funding from operating to capital preventive maintenance and maintenance. We had originally anticipated that this grant amendment process would be completed no later than early July. However, we have learned that that would not occur. The application has been submitted. It was submitted on November 22nd. However, we need to go ahead and move forward with the rollout plan. As you know, we have trainers on site this week and last week, and we need the board's approval to move forward using reserve funding to pay for the consulting services until the amendment process is complete. That's the purpose of this amendment, to allow us to go ahead and move forward with the consulting services to get the rollout plan totally complete. The consultants will work in conjunction with staff, not alone. Any questions?
What training are they looking at for this? Is this for the mechanical part, or I'm assuming the driving's no different?
The plan itself covers all aspects, is comprehensive. The training for the staff is already in place. Some of it has already been done. However, the maintenance department, the project managers of the project, they will be requesting additional training as we move forward, and has already received quotes from the manufacturer for the cost of this training. So that would be a part of the comprehensive plan moving forward.
So Gillig's going to send people in to do the training? Is that who's doing the training?
That's who's done the training thus far. And the department is requesting that they do additional training down the road. And
where are we on the structure problem with the storage of these vehicles?
Well, as Dr. O'Halloran, if I may, the issue of the structural or the storage of the vehicles is not a life-threatening, if you will. It's not at that part of priority. It's just that we have been advised that the usefulness of the buses will be extended if we can store them properly. So as soon as we can get them out of the elements, the better for the life of the bus.
And there's not a problem with these cold temperatures that we know of?
No, not that I'm aware of.
Batteries keep heating overnight, so they're not really affected by the change in temperatures.
That has not been an issue, but the long-term usefulness or the life of the equipment is what's concerning.
Yeah, anytime you have batteries involved, there's any kind of contamination and I understand that. I just wish we had had that in hand like 3 years ago when we were first looking at the electrics, but
yes, sir.
All right, as long as we're looking at that going forward, that should be fine.
And this plan, the RFP for this rollout plan is going to include a lot more than training. It will look at the total infrastructure, where we need to have portable units placed, the best places to place them, the best routes to choose for the electric buses as well. It's going to be totally inclusive of everything related to the bus, not just the training. But the training, of course, is a very big aspect of it.
Yeah, especially maintenance, because they're obviously high maintenance vehicles.
Yes, sir. As Ms. Cutter stated, they are on site now, and some of the trainers or the managers are going through training. We will go through a training the trainer type of thing, but some of the mechanics will need more extensive training as they become familiar with the buses themselves.
Yeah, and plus we have to have the parts on hand for the batteries and different other things that aren't normal part of our inventory for parts.
And they're working with the parts, Mr. Flanders and his parts team now, trying to secure what those parts will be that we will need to have on hand.
And I'm assuming they're bringing these manuals that we need to have on hand for operations and OSHA. And,
Yes, sir.
Yes.
and those.
So this comes out of our contingency budget, you said?
Well, to go ahead and move forward, we would have to take it out of there, but it will be replenished once the grant amendment has been executed.
Okay.
Which might be 12 to 18 months we were talking.
Exactly. So
Yeah, the
we
FTA
just
doesn't move fast.
Yeah, we need to move forward. Yeah.
What
Yeah, we can't hold this up any longer. It's just.
What in government does move fast? If you can show me, I'd like to see it.
I'd like to move there, Helen.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I joined in late, y'all. Which item are we on?
Electric bus.
Okay.
They're here doing the training and all, even though the grant money hasn't come in. We're going to pay for it out of the contingency and then repay it when the grant comes through. It's going to eventually be paid with 5307 funds.
Okay.
So you're caught up.
Okay.
You missed my beautiful opening presentation though.
Sorry.
I know. All right.
Okay. The
All
next
right, item number 2. Sorry, Stephanie.
That's okay. The next item is just for information today, but will be forthcoming with a recommendation for approval at the December board meeting. The funding source for the engineering consultant services in an effort to move forward with ferry bus construction will come from SPLOST 7. This component is approved to be charged against SPLOST as it's a part of a capital construction project. We anticipate the quotes coming in by December 17th, and the recommendation for award will be forthcoming at the December 21st board meeting. Any questions?
Not on that. Did we skip B on the COA and TDP?
Oh, okay. Can I come back to that after taking questions on this one, please?
And this is an RFP going out for the boat ferry construction? Or is this just informational bid?
This is an invitation for bid.
Okay.
Any other questions?
It's an invitation for bid that's going out for what thing?
For the Naval Engineering Consulting Services for the 2 new ferry boats.
Okay.
Yeah, that's pretty much standard. We haven't had a new one in a while. We've been repairing the old ones.
Okay, ready for the next one?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, this is the RFP for the COA and TDP, Comprehensive Operation Analysis Plan, and the Transit Development Plan. The Transit Development Plan has a deadline, as we heard on last week, of June 2022. And we need to move forward with getting some consulting services procured to work along with staff to get the plan done. It is recommended that we move forward with releasing an RFP. However, when we release the RFP, we have to notify potential vendors that the award is contingent upon approval of the grant amendment. The TDP is a part of the 5307 amended as one of the listed projects to be funded by that amendment.
So we're going to pay for this out of contingency as well and then replace when the grant's approved?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
What if the grant's not approved?
Well, this is something we have to do. And even if the grant is not approved, CAT is required to prepare this plan. So we would have to take it out of operating funds.
Okay.
Next caller.
Any other questions on that one?
No, I think we're good.
Okay, the next is the contract extension for Infinity. Currently, the servers that CAT utilizes to support the software that is being used is leased from Infinity. The contract expires the end of December. Therefore, we are recommending, staff is recommending that we extend the contract for 2 years to allow CAT to plan for the procurement of its own servers, or to discuss whether or not we desire to continue with the lease agreement.
I thought the last time this came up, we talked about buying the servers. We had that conversation about buying servers and about securing cloud service.
Yes.
So she didn't do that?
That has not been done. And we're at the end of the existing contract life. So we're recommending an extension to pursue those options that you just mentioned.
Okay,
Yeah,
so are we
there were a
still
couple-
not backing up on the cloud through a cloud service?
We are backing up, but it's through Infinity.
Right.
Is Infinity the pass through, or are they the actual cloud service?
It's my understanding that they are the actual cloud server.
They are.
Mhm.
They are, and they provided that service to us, but it's through them because they own the servers. And yes, they are the providers for the cloud service.
Yeah, I know we were looking into that whole technology sector of the
Yeah,
company.
we had a whole conversation about it.
Yeah,
I mean-
but that was, when who was here. Those who should not be mentioned.
And
Let's not mention it.
I do think that during the FY23 budget process that we really talk about the pros and cons of having a dedicated staff person to oversee the IT component of the organization, because right now we are pretty much totally dependent on an outside contractor, and I'm not sure how good that is.
I thought we put an IT person in the FTE. We talked about it. We
But not
instructed her to
extensive.
do so.
Not for extensive services like that. That FTE
No, I'm talking about an in-house IT person to manage the software issues and the network. We talked about having an in-house person, not doing away with the contract totally, but having an in-house person. And
We
I
did.
thought, and we didn't put that in the FTE.
Well, after having discussions with Infinity and some of the other IT providers in the area, they said that we could not hire somebody for the cost that the salary that we had placed. Nobody would entertain that salary. So that's why we haven't moved forward. Basically, for the salary.
I don't think that's true.
Well,
what salary did we set? What salary did we set?
It was in the mid-50s.
And I think we were looking for part-timers possibly and college students or some other.
For a network administrator?
But at that cost, at that salary, Director Odell, I was informed that all we would get was basically someone that would come in, change out components of the system, maybe coordinate things with the software like Trapeze. They could coordinate with those providers, but they would not be a true IT person, somebody that could actually tend to the network and the concerns of the network.
I don't think that's true. We should be able to get a mid-level network person that can make sure the network is up and running every day between $50,000 and $70,000.
Yeah, I would think.
Yeah, I mean,
Well,
we're not talking about somebody to design the network. We're talking about somebody to maintain the network.
Well, that is a consideration, as Ms. Cutter said, that we'll be putting in the budget for the next fiscal year.
Yeah, I think that along with pulling it into in-house, because if you're going to bring it all in-house, you're going to have a network administrator.
That's it, especially somebody to run backup.
Yeah. I think that would be one move where everything, because Infinity does 90% of what we need done, don't they? They do the maintenance at
Yes,
this point.
sir. Yes, sir.
And I wish they'd stop selling our phone numbers. I'm tired of hearing about buying Spectrum. They must call at least 5 times a week because the phone I have is connected to the CAT network.
Oh.
So they're trying to sell me DirecTV every week.
But as Ms. Cutter said, and you made the point too, that they're doing at least 90% of our IT support.
Yeah.
So we definitely are discussing that FTE for the next fiscal year.
Yeah, definitely. And adding the administrator to go in with a new package of servers and other parts would be worth it. Because there's obviously, with this new construction and stuff going on, a lot of this is going to have to be redesigned around the new spaces and possibly some other changes.
Mm-hmm.
That's the other question I have. Who is handling this construction project?
Which one?
The building construction,
You talking about
the CAT side,
on
the
Gwinnett
new
Street?
offices and all that stuff.
You talking about on the remodel?
Yeah. I understand the contract went back to legal because something was wrong. They were supposed to have one phase done by the 31st of December, and they haven't even started yet.
Who's the company? Who was it awarded to?
Oh, I forgot the name of the company, but do we have someone actually project managing this project for CAT?
Well, maintenance, Ms. Ragland, wasn't it maintenance actually spearheading this project?
Initially, it was Mr. Boatwright was spearheading the project, and since his untimely death, Mr. Cologne from procurement has stepped up and been our contact with them, and he's been giving us updates. You know, they're saying, you know, we're almost ready, and I've been asking him, and Stephanie too has been inquiring about the start date, but they're just not prepared to start yet. I don't know what legalities are going on or not, but they have not started the project yet. But we're just waiting on them.
I'm thinking it's what every problem everybody else is having. They don't have anybody to work yet, and they're still on another project. But we should put a deadline on that. That if they're not started by January 15th, we move to vendor 2. I mean, everything with CAT seems to get this delay process, and it's discouraging because we've been talking about this remodeling for 4 years.
Okay,
Directors, I've asked Mr. Collin to join the meeting to give you an update as it relates to his discussions with the vendor. He should be on shortly.
Okay. Do you want to finish the other 2 while he's coming on?
okay, we could do that.
I mean, I think we can just jump over the calendar. That's the standard calendar for every year, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th.
Okay,
Mhm.
There's no changes in the dates in the
No,
first
sir.
6 months. It's only November, December.
Right.
So that one's okay.
okay. And the item E is the standing committee structure revisions. I believe Beverly forwarded to you all the drafts of the mission for the board, the governing board, and as well as the proposed realignment of the committee structure. And it's just so that those committees can be more practically in line with what the structure is within the agency. So we have sent it to legal. They looked at it initially, and now we're providing copies to you. So if you have any comments or suggestions, they can go back, or if it needs to go back to legal before moving forward. The chairman has reviewed it initially, and he will be the person that will be responsible for making those assignments of members to the committee.
And I'm glad to see we have those other 2 outside committees coming back.
Yes, sir. We're
The
going to
Transit Advisory and the community one.
to reinstate those committees. Yes, sir.
Absolutely. I think, are we still doing the Wednesday night meetings?
No,
Right.
no, sir.
That we should find a way to start up again. I think not asking for community feedback makes us seem like we're elitist and we know better. Even if we don't take any of the information and really use it, giving the public the opportunity to do some criticizing is always a good thing.
Okay. I'll make a note of that.
And probably keep it split between para and regular. I think we can probably get someone to handle that where they're on that, that's their assigned job, whoever we get to do it.
Yes, sir. Initially, when the pandemic began, we did try to continue those meetings, but we had so many people call us and say, I don't use Zoom. And the format just didn't work for most of the people who were previously attending those meetings. But we'll try it again.
Yeah, even if no one comes, we've made the effort. And a
Yes,
lot
sir.
of times that's as important as what actually happens. And I'm assuming the ADA meetings don't occur anymore on those Mondays?
No, sir.
Okay,
No, sir.
because no one's coming into the building.
That's correct.
Yeah, the public does notice that stuff, so we have to be conscious of trying to get back to what we can as quickly as we can, especially if we're bringing in outside advisory committees.
You could probably set up telephone town halls.
Yeah, we could do Zoom and for who the can and then have call in. I mean, they must all have phones, I would think, because
Yeah,
I'm not sure too many people have no phones anymore, but at least they could call in with questions that we can answer in the Q&A.
Okay.
I see Victor's with us.
hello, Victor.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Morning.
So I've been reaching out, contacting with the lawyers and the vendor. We're working on the contract to finalize it and it's the bid bond what we're working on. That's the part that it takes a little bit longer. And we're also working with our insurance agent to get it completed. So I'm working with the lawyer and the and our insurance and Seacrest to finalize that portion of the bid bond.
How long we thinking before they can actually put, boots on the ground in the building?
I was hoping to get it done by December, as Dr. O, you stated earlier, but at this moment, I'm hoping by January 31st, at least we have started.
Okay, yeah,
Because
we
of
have
the
to kind of push a deadline on this because
Mhm.
I know
Yeah.
everybody's got problems getting workers and, when the contract went out, they may have had plenty of employees to come send to us, but now it might not be that same situation.
It's more difficult to get laborers
Mhm.
in the whole Southeast area itself.
Yeah, it's gonna be, I don't know how much longer the nightmare is gonna continue, but I do know the mask mandates were extended to April, I think,
To
March or
March.
April.
March. As a matter of fact, Eric's already sent out a release stating that.
All right, well, let's keep on them, kind of push them towards the fact that we're anxious to get started.
Yes, and I
Even
will
if
reach
it's,
out.
even if it's the smallest part of the project, that they can show some progress, we'd appreciate it.
Okay, and I will reach out today again to Shay to see where she's at, because we were talking about it yesterday, actually.
Okay, yeah. I
All
know
right.
we kind of overworked our legal department the last couple of months.
There's
But
been a
yeah.
lot going on.
Yeah, they'll get it done. Just keep a friendly reminder. We don't want to piss them off by being too pushy.
I will reach out to her today again and see where she's at.
All right, thanks, Victor.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Okay, were there any other questions or comments about the committee realignment?
I don't know, it looked like it was pretty much where we were 2 years ago. And it looks good to me.
Okay. And I know
With anything
Chairman-
like that, it can always be changed if we find out it's unworkable.
Chairman Cody will be reaching out to each member of the board in reference to that. Okay, should I move on? Dr.
Yeah,
O'Halloran?
I think we're done with the agenda items.
Yes, sir. The, under old and new business, the harassment, discrimination, and retaliation policy, we place that there as a placeholder because we'd like to bring this to the board next month for the January meeting. It's not a new policy, it's just some revisions that we think are necessary to better protect the agency. And that will be coming to the board as an agenda item in January.
That makes me have a question.
Will we get a presentation on that next committee?
We're trying to have it prepared to you for by governance.
Okay,
Who's the point of contact right now for Lighthouse?
I am.
That's
So
the,
the-
I'm sorry. It's
So the
always
Lighthouse
going
complaint-
through HR.
The Lighthouse
Yes.
complaints go to HR?
Correct.
anybody used it?
Not really.
No.
No.
It's been what, a year and a half, and no one's really picked up on that as a policy.
No. It hasn't,
The old
it
dog new
really hasn't
tricks.
been useful. It really has not been used properly. We've had people, even members of the public use it to complain about bus operators driving erratically or being rude. And the whole purpose was for compliance within the organization among employees, but it has not been used properly. And I don't know if it's just a lack of education, and we're looking at some of those things as well.
Well, a lot of it's people who've been with us for a long time and never had that system, trying to figure out how to use it. What are we paying, 600 a year?
Well, they don't want to use it, Dr. O'Halloran. It's
Well,
just
that I know
easier
too.
for- Yeah. it's just easier for them to take it to someone than to go through the process. And that's a lot of the issue here. People don't want to follow any procedures, but we're trying to better educate our workforce and actually set up some training for them as well. So we're looking to improve.
And for what they're charging us, it's better to have it than not, because if someone says, well, we have no way to complain about anybody. Well, yeah, you do. We have it on the books. So that
Correct.
covers us as
Correct.
well.
And on top of that, the information is outdated. In the most recent policy, we still have David Stearns listed for the compliance department. So it just needs to be updated just to remove that information and to provide and streamline the process, because that information is posted everywhere. It's posted on the elevators, it's posted in the break rooms. So it's communicated. It's just that I don't think people understand the proper processes, and it just needs to be communicated better.
So when the complaint comes in, how often is it rolled up to the chair and vice chair?
It really doesn't. I just looked in Lighthouse, and the most recent complaint was 7 months ago, I believe. That was the last time someone used Lighthouse. So typically, whenever there are complaints, you have certain employees that will come straight to Human Resources, and they'll come and they'll ask, can they file a complaint? And then others will just reach out and write letters to the board. And that's how I find out. And that's how, historically, prior to me coming here, how we're able to find out what's going on. And so it's hard.
So the complaint that came in 7 months ago, did that roll up to the chair and vice chair?
It did. It actually resulted in termination for that person. So there was a whole investigation. So it was actually a valid complaint that occurred. I believe it was like 7-8 months ago. It was a valid complaint, and it was a good complaint, and it went through the proper process.
So it works when they use it.
Correct.
It does.
Problem is you can't publish those results like, oh yeah, look at what it
Correct.
did.
Correct.
Because then we look kind of trashy.
Mhm.
Well, we'll keep pushing it. I mean, we have the healthcare programs that offer discounts if they use them. They don't use that, but we've offered it. And we've offered the vaccines, we've offered the Lighthouse process. So we're doing the right things as far as making services available, making people make use of those services is something we can't control. So as long as Lighthouse isn't charging us a fortune, we should just keep them. And is this also a follow-up on that D&I project that was done like a year ago, the diversity and inclusion?
Okay, but now I had an issue with that diversity and inclusion that was done by the previous person, because I don't think diversity means Black people work there too. That's just not diversity.
No.
That's not diversity. Diversity does not mean there's some white people and some Black people, so we got diversity. So that whole process that she did was not acceptable.
And nothing was ever followed up. It was
nothing was followed up on it. And just because
we
Black
know
people work at the agency doesn't mean we're diverse.
Right. So Director Odell, you're absolutely correct. That is not what diversity is. I'm not aware of what was done previously. So I will request it from Ms. Val, see if she has it. But yeah, no, it's a very systematic process. You have to have numbers associated with it. And it also, it includes the transit industry. It includes the area that you're living in, because what's diverse to one company may not be diverse to another one, because, industries do have, like, for example, IT is primarily dominated by the male industry. So you can't expect to have 50% females. It's just not realistic. Yeah. So I just need to see what was presented previously.
Ask Beverly, because it was in one of the board packages.
Okay.
Late sometime between August and December of last year. I see Beverly perked right up. She probably already found it and gonna send it out.
Okay.
Before we move forward too far, I want to get a copy of the policy for Lighthouse.
Okay.
And I remember, I still have that thing for that whole diversity thing. So we need a new plan for that, because our recruitment should reflect our attempts at diversity. So we have several large groups of diverse cultures in Savannah, and we should be able to have Hispanic people, Indian people, Asian people. We should be able to have more than just Black and white people at the agency.
Yeah, we have an acidic Jewish population as well.
We have a very large Korean population, very large Pakistan, very large Indian. I mean, we should be able to have, a variety of people at the agency. We're not recruiting in those areas.
And we are a port city, so we get people from all over the world.
Right. Well, there is actually a staffing and recruitment plan that I have created when I first got here, because of the way staffing and recruiting was done, as well as the interviewing process, to make sure that we were compliant per the EEOC guidelines. And we do have a diverse city. It is a to be honest with you, it is an urban city. So so we are common. It's normal to have more African Americans in an organization in Savannah because of it being an urban city and the percentage. But you are right, there are some Native Americans. We have a percentage of Native Americans. I believe it's 3% so far in Chatham County.
I'm talking about like Indian from India. We have a huge population of them.
I understand.
Pakistan,
I understand.
Hispanic. Yeah,
I understand. So that's including Native American, that's including Hispanics. So we look at the percentage that is in the area, and then we also look at the experience that they bring. So yes, there is a plan that is in place, and I will be glad to share that with you.
As a matter of fact, that is something that Ms. White has been working on and preparing to present to the board.
And once she sees where that report left us, it's kind of we can see what still needs to be changed. I know we changed some since.
But that report just said we had diversity.
Yeah, but it had some recommendations in it too on things we had to do better.
Who conducted it? Do you know who conducted this survey?
Yeah, we know.
We'll get that information to you.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yes,
it was presented in a board package, so it's available.
Okay.
It's historically Beverly has all that stuff.
Okay.
We'll get it to you. Yeah,
Okay.
it was an outside company came in and hung around, did some talking to employees and stuff. I just wasn't thrilled by the specificity of the results.
Okay.
It was pretty vague.
Okay.
But you can take a look at it. I'm sure you've seen enough of them in your career.
Yes, sir. All righty, I'll look at it. Thank you.
Yeah, we'll get something started as soon as you get a chance to review and critique.
Okay. Well, that ends it for staff reporting, Dr. Halloran.
Yeah. And we've got the meeting dates. The 14th is governance at 11. The regular board meeting is the 21st at 10 o'clock. That one I'm surprised is so close to Christmas, but the month started on the 1st, so it really screwed us up. Tuesday the 1st. Oh, no, wait, was the 1st? No, that was Wednesday. That's why we got a late start on the 2nd and 3rd. Anything else anybody wants to talk about? Hopefully we keep Chairman Ellis at Bay from coming after us again. I mean, he's right about what happened, but I'll tell you what, they dumped me and Mike Brown for a year without getting us into training, and we still have our 2 voting members who have to get some kind of information, because I know Terry did all the reporting to the MPO, and I don't know if anybody knew that we even had to do that, because she did it all compartmentalized. No one else
Right.
was involved.
Right.
So we have to, I know Stephanie's done this with a lot of group because she's worked with the MPO with the city. But we'll get it straightened out. You may just have to go to a couple of their meetings and make it look like we're up to date on everything.
Well, Dr. O, at that time, the organization structure was different. Planning was a part of finance.
Right.
A couple of years ago, and I'm not exactly sure when that occurred, but that component is no longer under finance. That's why finance, had been reporting to the MPO.
Yeah, and the fact that we changed the how we apply for grants, we don't do it through
Yes,
the
that's
MPO, we
correct.
do it directly. So
That's correct.
why would we know we had to report that to the MPO is my thinking on that. No one told us when we went direct to direct funding that we had to tell the MPO, because that $9 million has all been spent that they talked about. If we can go back and look, I looked at the list. We bought all that stuff.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
I think we were just unaware of our direct reporting responsibility at the MPO.
Then maybe a letter to the chairman of the commission should go out stating what the facts are.
Yeah,
I mean,
we should.
If the money has been spent, he needs to know that so he doesn't continue to harp on something that is.
Yes. Chester doesn't let go once he's got his bone.
Well,
And I don't blame him.
Yeah, he brought up some concerns. I get that.
yeah.
But let's make sure that his concerns are addressed and answered.
That's right. That's right.
And then we have people at those meetings, because
I
he's
think-
going to be looking for you.
Yeah.
Well, but I also did bring out a point in that the biggest problem here has been lack of communication.
That's right.
That's
So-
correct.
Mhm.
So we can all work on that.
That's
Yes,
right.
Absolutely.
Yes, ma'am.
Absolutely.
And I
Okay.
think the more, it's an hour or so every other month. I think we can get a couple of bodies there and make it look like we're actively involved and participating.
For the
Correct.
MPO board meeting, Dr. Halloran, Chairman Cody and I have attended the last 2 meetings that have been, for this year. And the next meeting is next week on the 15th of December. I didn't think they were going to have one this month, but they are. It starts on the 15th.
Yeah, it's once they get it out, once they set that calendar pretty early in the year. And yeah, it's important to go, because a lot of the projects that are going on, especially road construction and things like that, that can affect transit. And some of it's to help improve transit. I mean, I know the interchange at 95 doesn't directly involve us, but they're coming all the way to the ports, and it's good to see what's going on, and just to see the numbers. Some of the, the interchange was like $92 million to do that interchange of 95 and 16. Quite an impressive plan. I saw it when they first showed it to us, and it's, plus we have 2 votes on a panel that's only like 13 members. So we have
That's correct.
some voting power.
Yes. So we have been attending those meetings at first virtually, and now they are hybrid meetings. But Chairman Cody and I have started to attend them. We are not taking the option to appear virtually. We have been actually attending the meetings. So we've
Yeah.
been.
Well, it's important because you do have votes, and CAT stuff comes, and they did remind us of some things that we, monies were available that we hadn't applied for because we couldn't at the time that the money was available. So they do move it forward for a period of time to make sure we don't lose it. But the more, if we get 1 or 2 other people out in the audience, because it is open, it's going to show our dedication to participating with the MPO.
Yes, sir.
Because they still hold some purse strings. Don't think we're completely free.
Oh, I know.
So, yeah, I mean, get some people there. That's the best I can say. Because Chairman Ellis will be watching.
Yes, sir.
And I don't want to get on Chester's bad side. We've had our share of ups and downs, mostly ups, I guess. We understand each other.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, if nothing else, I'm gonna adjourn the meeting. I'll see whoever's at governance next week and see you all on the 21st for the board meeting.
Okay.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Have a
Thank
good
you.
day, everyone.
Bye-bye.